Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another Minecraft episode. My name is Islam of Glory, and this is, of course, Omega Minecraft Server for 1.16.5, episode number 10, also known as the finale. This episode is going to be a little bit different, as we are going to be checking out the zoo that we have been working on for the past 2 years. So, without further ado, sit back, relax, and enjoy the tour for the Season 4 zoo. So, this is the entrance to the Redwood Zoo. Welcome everybody. In here you can park your vehicle with 90% surety that it will not be attacked by animals. Apart from that, we've also got the Redwood restaurant where John will be happy to attend you. We really don't have any staff working at the kitchen, so you will have to be eating the food that has been sitting in the plates for the past year and a half. But if you have any problems with the food, of course there's bathrooms. Don't doubt to go to the bathrooms if there's anything wrong with the food, and tell our manager that the food was not okay. Anyways, if that's none of your interest, this is the tallest tree in the server that has been growing here for very long. Anyways, our first exhibit is right over here. This is the black-footed ferret exhibit. Black-footed ferrets are small mammals that, as their name suggests, are ferrets with socks similar to black socks. I don't know. That makes sense for their name. They come in different colors apparently. There's some white ones, some darker ones, and they live in many different biomes, such as prairies, small forests, as well as other drier biomes such as savannas. In this case, we can observe how they exist within these biomes and how they basically do absolutely nothing, because that's how ferrets do things, apparently. Our next exhibit is right over here. This exhibit is the raccoon exhibit. These animals, also known as trash pandas, are well known amongst a lot of animal lovers in the Americas as well as even in Europe. These animals seem to be great at theft of food especially. We've also got different colors, which are definitely not raccoons that fell into paint buckets whilst we were building the zoo. Raccoons are also very playful, and that's why we have filled their exhibit with rocks. Because they, of course, love rocks, who wouldn't? Here we can see how the small but dangerous animal is hunting for food, which is definitely not in the plate next door. Anyways, our next exhibit is the red panda exhibit, and its name can be deceiving because these aren't really pandas. They don't even resemble that much to a panda, and they're definitely not raccoons that have been dipped in even more paint. These animals have been loved by so many people in the Asian cultures as well as people in other places, as it has spread throughout the internet so much that I'm kind of surprised that pandas haven't received that much love. They are very sociable animals, as you can see here, and like to spend time with each other. Our next animal, of course, has to be the panda, which seems to be less and less seen in the internet, but it's still a very much amazing animal. As its name suggests, it's a giant panda. I mean, who wouldn't want a giant one? If there's small ones, why not bigger ones? Also, there seems to be two different species, which can be obviously seen as ones are fatter than the others. We are not really sure why that is. We suppose it's because one species eats more than the other, but that's just a thing that we thought of. Pandas also love to roll and stick their tongues out. That seems to be a natural behavior, and don't worry, they are perfectly fine. If we go over here, our next exhibit is a quite different animal, which is the dwarf crocodile. Dwarf crocodiles are, as their name suggests, reptiles, specifically crocodiles that are smaller in size than the usual ones. Dwarf crocodiles live in wet areas such as wetlands, as well as swamps, and even certain rivers. These ones live around the river that was here already. They also, because they're so small, they're so short that they need to jump to see over the wall that they are trying to look over. I mean, there's not much to look outside, so it doesn't really matter that much. Even though they are slow, they're also very good hunters. Our next animal, naturally, is the Indian gharial. If its name sounds like a mouthful, it is a mouthful of a name, but it's simply just another name for a crocodile-like creature. These animals, as their name suggests, live in the Indian area of the world, but here we're just having them in a river. They also come in different colors, and despite their look, they are not that dangerous whatsoever. Our next animal, of course, has to be the flamingo. Flamingos are these birds that, despite their looks, are very capable of flying and have escaped multiple times, so we had to install an entire glass roof over their heads. Now, that one in the water is perfectly fine. They apparently have breathing holes on top of their head, so he's not gonna drown. If you're wondering why I'm spending so much time with the flamingos, it's because they're my favorite animal. Anyways, underneath the river exhibits we can also see a bunch of different species, such as Plecostomus, as well as tropical fish. There's also a few mystery snails over there. If you want to look at more mystery snails, you can go downstairs in the underground aquarium area and look at this exhibit. They're called mystery snails because it's a mystery what they actually do. As you can see, spectating them makes it look as if they are living in a totally different timeline because they are going so slowly. I wouldn't want to live like that. Our next exhibit is just above our heads. This is the river otter exhibit. River otters, as their name suggests, are these creatures that are very good at swimming. They also are loved by many people, but are also hated amongst others because of how devious they are with their own species, as they apparently threaten other species of otter in a daily basis, which seems really counterproductive. But we haven't seen any signs of that, as they just seem to get their heads into a wall and not think about it all day. Our next exhibit, as you might have heard, is the African lion exhibit. What are you doing all the way here? Apparently, lions are sociable creatures that have different sociable status and have seemingly put Mozart in the other corner of their exhibit to think about what he's done. We don't really know what he's done, but he's probably a good boy. He wouldn't do anything bad at all. The rest of the lions, of course, are having their fun over here in the corner of the exhibit. We also have some lions in the cave, I think. Okay, that's not a lion, that's a plushie, but we'll still think it's a lion either way, because we couldn't afford to get more lions in here. Anyways, if we keep going next to the entrance and next to the restaurant, we will see the prairie chicken exhibit. Why next to the restaurant? Because we were thinking about putting maned wolves in here, and that was going to be way too smelling for the people that are actually wanting to eat at the restaurant, if any actually wants to eat at the restaurant. So prairie chickens are very similar to chickens. Oh, actually, hold on. These are the greater prairie chickens, because they are greater than the lesser prairie chickens. We don't actually know what a lesser prairie chicken is, but we believe that it's the domesticated chicken that we all know and love. If we go along, we also see the pond slider and box turtle exhibit. These two creatures, even though their names are totally different, they're pretty much the same exact thing. Turtles. Although one is from the pond and the other one seems to be terrestrial. Box turtles, as their name suggests, are turtles with a box on top with different patterns. It is said that there's an elusive box turtle with the Amazon logo printed on top of it, but that has never been seen before. On the other hand, pond sliders are slightly longer creatures with less interesting shells, but they're very pretty nonetheless. They've also got the funniest swimming animation that we have ever seen in the entirety of Minecraft. Our next exhibit is the Gravy's Zebra exhibit. Zebras are these creatures that have been a long reason for debate among zoologists for many centuries because of one fact: nobody really knows if they're white with black stripes or black with white stripes. But what's sure is that they really like laughing at you. Another elusive variant of the zebra is the rainbow zebra. This is definitely not a zebra that we have painted in rainbow colors and is definitely natural. This has brought up more debate among zoologists because they don't know what color the zebra is and what color of the stripes are. Our next animal is the cockerel sifaka, which seems like a horrible name for an animal, but it in reality is just a type of lemur, kind of like a mix between a lemur and a monkey. These creatures seem to only know how to bounce up and down while sticking to exhibit glass, which, don't worry about it, they're probably fine. Our next exhibit is right over here. This is the giraffe exhibit. Giraffes are these tall animals with comically large necks to eat the food that is out of reach for other animals. But we don't know what evolved first, the tree to avoid getting eaten, or the giraffe to eat things that are above other plants. Nobody really knows. They've also got similar patterns to zebras, where they are mostly white with a bunch of different colors on top. Our next exhibit is next door, or actually, next path, I guess? This is the Asian elephant exhibit. Asian elephants are elephants that live in Asia, of course. Now, if you don't know what an elephant is, well, it's these creatures with giant ears and really funny noses, which are called trunks. They have been able to escape for a long time, and they have escaped multiple times, and we don't actually know how they've done that. So they're quite annoying animals, but we still love them. The next animal we are going to visit is the capybara. Capybaras have gained the interest of many people in the internet because they are really interesting creatures. They seem to be friends with pretty much any other animal that you would think would eat them in the wild, such as crocodiles. Capybaras are also very chill, as the new people would say. What is this capybara looking at? Well, if you go across the fence, we can see that he's looking at similar animals, the guinea pigs. This time we separated them from capybaras, unlike last zoo, because they do deserve their own exhibit. These little guys, despite their name, are not really pigs. And also they've gained somewhat bad reputation because guinea pigs also refer to testing subjects, which isn't exactly what is happening in the zoo, so don't worry about them. Guinea pigs also come in a variety of colors and patterns. Our next animal is right over here, in a cave. Guess what it is? It's the bat. Bats are creatures that have shared opinions, which is actually a sensible thing, because bats come in actually two major species, fruit bats and blood bats. So blood bats have made also fruit bats gain a really bad reputation, and have been often linked with bad luck, or also vampirism, which isn't the case for these bats. We think, of course. I mean, they may as well be vampires that are still not turning into a vampire itself, but we believe they're actually animals. We don't want to be trapping people in our exhibits. That wouldn't be exactly up to zoo code. If we go up, we are going to reach our next exhibit, which is the chinchilla exhibit. The chinchilla exhibit contains, of course, chinchillas, which are these very funny looking creatures that aren't quite mice nor hamsters. These animals have really thick fur, and thus they need to be bathed in sand or dirty ground that isn't wet, else they will have fungus growing on their skin most likely. That is why we have them in this sandy exhibit. They also come in different colors. Just ignore the chicken over there. Our next exhibit, well, semi-exhibit, is another fish tank with different fish such as corridores, as well as salmon. Now, of course, that exhibit isn't really that interesting, so the next exhibit is the spider monkey exhibit. Spider monkeys, as their name suggests, well, not really. They are not really spiders. They're actually monkeys that climb up walls, so they have nothing to do with spiders, so don't worry about them if you're arachnophobic. They seem to all be hanging on to life in a wall, which isn't exactly their normal behavior, but I'm sure they're probably fine. This monkey might as well escape, but I mean, it's really not our problem because the zoo is being closed very soon. So this is basically the last chance that you get to see the monkey. If it escapes, well, they deserved it, I guess. Our next exhibit takes us through this tunnel and over the bridge of the fish exhibit. And you'll never guess it, our next exhibit is the kangaroo. Kangaroos are these strange creatures from Australia, which is basically the island filled with spooky and random creatures that didn't fit anywhere else, but they are still fascinating creatures. They have a pouch where they have their babies in, which is a really strange thing to say it as another species. Imagine having your baby inside a bag all the time. That wouldn't be really normal per se. Anyways, they live in arid areas, as you can see. But we've also let them some grass because which animal doesn't like grass? I don't know. They also like to be in the water. Our next creature is the koala. Koalas are these small creatures that are mostly grey and are very, very slow. They're mostly related with eating eucalyptus all day because, well, honestly, that's basically what they do. If we follow this giant bridge at supersonic speeds, we can reach another part of the zoo, which is another eating area right above the insect area, which is the thing that we're going to check out next. There are different varieties of insects. The first one are mantis. Praying mantis, because they seem to be holding hands as they're praying so that they don't get squashed whilst somebody's walking merrily along the grass. They come in different colors, mostly earthy colors, which doesn't help their situation of getting squashed by an oblivious person. Another insect we have is the scorpion type of arachnid, which is a very horrible creature. They are really small and their stink is very deadly. That's why we keep them behind a perfectly safe glass wall that isn't definitely 2 pixels wide and thick as well. So you should be completely safe, we think. Oh, where'd they go? Okay, that's scary. That's why scorpions are really spooky, because they disappear and then creep up behind you. Our next insect is the leafcutter ant. Leafcutter ants are ants that cut leaves, of course. They cut leaves in order to create their nests, eat, etc. Of course, we put them in the opposite side of the zoo, opposite to the ant-eaters, because giant ant-eaters and leafcutter ants wouldn't do very well together in an exhibit. These creatures are really big, which is very surprising, even though one would think that ants are way smaller. Another creature that we have is the tarantula. Tarantulas are spiders which are very big and fuzzy. They've also got long legs with paws apparently, and they come in a variety of colors. But don't let their, I guess, beauty deceive you, because they're also sometimes very deadly. We've also got different varieties of the insects we've already gone over, such as that black scorpion, a light green praying mantis, this totally blue spider, a brownish spider, another blue spider, another brown spider, and a black tarantula. If we go over this way though, we will find much more pleasing to look at creatures, which are the brown rats. Brown rats are usually associated with living in sewers and very dirty areas and being really horrible creatures, often compared to mice as being the bigger and worse cousins of mice, but in reality they are very cute creatures. They probably like cheese too, but we haven't tried feeding them cheese. Because, well, we don't really have cheese. Because we don't have anybody stocking up the restaurant. Next we have betta fish. Betta fish are territorial, that's why we have them in separate areas. They are very beautiful though, and have very different colors. So we have that blue one. We also have this one that looks like an underpearl. We also have this orange and blue one. We also have tropical fish and clownfish. If we go outside of the tunnel of the insects and the rats, we will eventually reach the normal animal zoo, or what we like to call them, the vanilla petting zoo. You can enter this zoo and pet the animals for yourself. Even though they're like the normal animals, we have some interesting species such as the skeleton horse, which don't ask how we got it. We also got lovely Don Quixote, which was taken from about 10,000 blocks away from where the zoo is. Don't give me that side eye though. Anyways, for more interesting animals, go through the train station and you will eventually reach the skunk exhibit. Skunks are really strange creatures because they spray at you horribly smelling spray, I guess, which isn't exactly nice, but only if you threaten them, so you will be perfectly safe behind the glass wall. Our next exhibit is way on the other side of the zoo. A similar creature to the skunk is, you guessed it, the tree squirrel. Tree squirrels are different from squirrels because they are specifically from trees. I mean, what else do I have to say about these creatures? Our next exhibit is the monitor lizard. Even though their name may say that they are lizards with a monitor on their heads, they're actually just lizards. They're quite big and come in different colors, and they pretty much live in grassy biomes. It could be said that these lizards have different abilities depending on their color, but we haven't seen a red one breathe fire or a blue one freeze anybody, so that's definitely not true. Our next exhibit is the frog exhibit, also known as the frog pond or lake. We have different species of frog, such as bullfrogs, which are these fat creatures, as well as tomato frogs, which are the red ones. We also have tree frogs, like the one on the right. And we also have other species of frogs, such as Pac-Man frog, as well as dart frog. Our next exhibit is the polar bear exhibit. They're bears, but that live in the poles of the planet. These bears are white, of course, because they need to blend in with the white snow. We also seem to have two different species of bears. We have slightly more detailed ones and another one that is extremely square. Definitely not because we are feeding one more than the other. They also seem to like to get stuck in the water, but they're probably fine. Or actually get stuck in anything. Maybe we will have to look deeper into that. Our next exhibit is right up here, which is the possum exhibit. Opossums are similar to brown rats in that they also seem to like stealing food, but they're more nocturnal creatures. They also come in different colors, of course, which seems to be a common theme across most animals, if not all of them, in the zoo. They're also very sociable creatures and are very cute. The next exhibit is, of course, the orangutan exhibit. Orangutans, as their name suggests, well, they are tans that are orang. Get it? Orange tan? Okay, I'm sorry. These creatures, despite looking really strange at you, are very funny and interesting monkey-like creatures which have different orange colors. Such as this one, which is kind of grapefruit colored. Our next exhibit is the mandrill exhibit. Mandrills are known for having wild colors on their backs, butts, as well as their faces. These colors change depending on basically if they are the leader of the group or if it's breeding season, etc. They are also really strange creatures which make really weird noises, but we don't really know why. Our next exhibit takes us through this tunnel. As we can see over here a little bit, our next exhibit is, if we go up the elevator, the snow leopard exhibit. Snow leopards are leopards that live in mountainous biomes filled with snow. They have very intricate patterns on their skin and fur to blend in with the different foliage, vegetation, stones, and the snow itself, of course. That's why this exhibit is absolutely packed with different things so that they don't feel stressed that they are not blending in. Look at Miguel here, he's also a great swimmer. Of course, cats aren't really known for liking water, but these are weird cats. Speaking of, they're obviously very friendly and they definitely don't attack you. They also come in different colors, such as this blue one, which definitely isn't trying to get out through that hole. A black one. As well as others. They seem to be big enough to not go through that hole, so that's something good, I guess.